Get ready. Hold tight. It's
Hold on to
happening.
your hats, boys.
Libos.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday week.
A little bit old to you.
With that deep into Danny Roll, please don't clip that.
Been truly horrific having this season away from home.
I want goals.
It was nice to have football back, wasn't it?
How poor do we have to be before it's happened? How much blood from this stone does he have to get?
For Wednesday week!
Hello and welcome to another edition of our preview show. Hello from the other side. We're previewing the upcoming game against QPR, and I'm joined by Ben from the W12 podcast. How are we doing, Ben? Okay?
Yes, very well, thank you. Yeah, it's quite a miserable day here, but yeah, all good.
And that's not the football, obviously. That's just all the weather, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, bit of both.
Yeah, so upcoming your trip to Hillsborough is up on Saturday. It's a bit of a different start for Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, we all know where we are. We've won our first game, and then we haven't won or got a point in the last three. Whereas QPR, you lost your opening day, but you're unbeaten in three with a win and two draws. So just have a cap. How have you thought your season's gone in the first four games?
It's gone okay. Like we've got 5 points. It's probably where we should be. I think the XG and XG conceded and stuff like that. I think it's all where it should be. If you believe those things, but actually, when you're watching when watching our games, 5 points probably feels like the right amount. It feels fair. You know, we've been quite inconsistent in pretty much every game. There's 15, 20 minute, half an hour spells where we've looked really, really good, and sort of maybe the same sort of time that we've looked really poor. So we need to get going really, and we need to find the form from last season. A bit like you guys, we had a really, really good end to the season. We looked really solid. I think we were in the top 8, 7 maybe in 2024, and even after February, I think we were in the top 6. So we had a really, really, really good end. We've had quite a good big player turnover. Sort of 10 out, 10, 11 out, and 8 or 9 in. So, and we haven't signed a single player that's had championship experience.
Okay.
So that adds to it, doesn't it? Because this league is just none like no other. So getting these players and embedding them and getting them up to speed is going to take time, and some of them look good in spells, but so. Yeah, it's been okay as I said. You know, some positive signs, some things to work on, but it certainly looks like we're not going to have a struggle like we did this time last year.
Yeah, you mentioned last finish, your last season finish, and same as us. You were. I looked earlier. I think you were 7th, and we were 8th in the form table for the last, especially like I said from February. Actually, fantastic to get out of the position we were both in. I know we looked at the summer because of the biggest signing for us was our manager. Obviously, Marty's. I'm gonna have a go. You can Cifuentes. That's it, mate.
For anyone,
I am terrible.
For anyone who really cares, there's no C either. It's Fuentes. Like that's the proper way of saying it, but I don't know. It's just, yeah.
I've got no chance, mate. I've got no chance.
No.
Obviously, he was a little bit in the spotlight because of the great turnaround that he obviously did for yourselves. Was there any danger in the summer that you thought he could be poached or moved on, like we had with Danny Roll? To be fair,
yeah, I think Sunderland was sniffing around. Watford,
everybody, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they had to go on everyone, but I think Sunderland. I think it broke around the internet and in one of the papers that they were looking to. He was their number one target and all that sort of stuff, but it never really quite. What you did that we haven't done, which is very frustrating, I think, is that we didn't offer him we haven't agreed a new deal yet. I mean, he signed a 3-year deal last year, so maybe you could argue that we don't need to. But that's one thing that on our podcast we're continually saying that we need to be nailing down on a longer term deal. I guess which football can change quite quickly, and very fickle, isn't it? You have a couple. So I don't know, but I worry that if we do have a good start this season, that some of the bigger teams or the teams that have maybe just come down or may start properly sniffing around. But he's a great. I mean, I can't. There's no one else I'd rather have in charge. He's brilliant. Just everything about him is good. I'm hoping with the 6 months experience in the Championship, we'll have enough. Like that would have helped, and he'll be better this year. So I hope he stays.
I think we're probably both sets of fans are in the same position regarding our manager. We're the same, obviously. Very, very similar we've had in the last 12 months, I guess, the clubs, with managers, with the form, with obviously what happened last season. And we were the same. I mean, we've kept hold of Danny Rule. He was only on a short-term contract, and I think we've got him for 3 years. I think he signed. And obviously yourself with Marty, he's on a 3-year. There's always that danger, though, isn't there? Exactly like you said. If you have a couple of 4 or 5 games that aren't going your way, and there is a bigger, no disrespect to QPR, but like I said, it's come down, or one that's got real money that they want to splash and stuff like that, there's always a danger that your manager could be on that list. And
I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? If a big club comes in for him, I don't know, Leeds or whatever. Does it matter if they're on a 3-year contract or a 5-year contract? I don't think it really matters, does it? They if they want to go, they'll probably go anyway. So yeah, of
course. Yeah, I totally agree. On that, obviously, you mentioned your transfer business. How do you feel as fans and your podcast and you guys? How do you think that the summer's gone for you? Because I've got it here. You have signed 12 players, and I think obviously don't quote these numbers. They're off the internet. It could be anything, but I think you signed Nicholas Madsen for $2.5 million. So how do you think has Cifuentes, I'm going to say it, has he covered the position that you guys thought was needed?
So yes and no. So the 12 either probably there's a lot of players that we've brought in, like backup B team and stuff like that. I think, but like I said, we've had a high turnover. We've brought in. There's been a change up top at QPR as well. We've there's a completely different approach this window. We normally bring in the journeyman of the Championship on loan, or the players on frees that float around, which we've completely changed tack this year, and we're much more data driven. So our new CEO, Christian Nuri, he's like 28. He heads up a data company, a bit like Brentford and Brighton, where all of our signings are data led. So data and personality led. So what we've done is we've gone from a data and a numbers perspective, who can we bring in for the most value that we can spend? And what he's saying is that there is no value in the English pool versus what the data is saying. So that's why we've not brought a single player that's got Championship experience. We haven't. It's not even factored in to what we're what we're trying to do. Yeah. So
none of the he knows the league. He knows the he knows how to play. None of that.
No, none of that. They can't. So we've got abroad for a lot of signings. We've lost a few. We lost Lyndon Dykes a few days recently to Birmingham. Sinclair Armstrong's gone to Bristol City. So Chris Willock's gone to Cardiff. So they're 3 big players for us last season. So they've been moved on, and we've brought in some Nicholas Madsen, who was one of the top players in the Belgium League last season. Zian Seller up top, who's played for Sevilla, started yesterday, a couple of days ago, or even yesterday. We've got Dembele in to cover Willock leaving, and that's an upgrade because he's brilliant. I mean, I can't speak high enough of him. He's tiny, but you just can't get the ball off him. He's so good. His delivery is unbelievable, and we just need to get him going, and we need to get Elias Chair fit because he hasn't been fit yet this season. Our best player. So getting him fit and Dembele in there with Madsen, it looks like a really good 3. We've got Jonathan Varane, who is Varane's brother, the United Varane. He looks good, but needs to get up to speed. So they're the sort of main players that we've brought in. And we're all covered off, mate. I mean, we've got every position covered. Injuries are just a challenge, aren't they? You never know. We didn't get any last season towards the end, but you could end up getting low. So if we can stay injury free, I'm hoping that these players can get going.
Yeah, you mentioned Dembele there, and it was one that, if you believe the social media and all the thing, that won Sheffield Wednesday and a couple of other teams were looking at as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's chose QPR or he's gone there. So our fans listening now will obviously got a little eye on him. Obviously, we missed out, but how you mentioned him there a couple, but how's he been doing for you?
Really good.
Has he hit the ground running?
Yeah,
so
I mean, so he's created the most chances in the Championship this season, and he's got the highest average, the rating on whatever rating they use. So it's all over social media. So he's been excellent. He's just missing maybe a goal or two to sort of put the cherry on the top. But other than that, he's so good. He was at Blackpool last season. He scored 21 assists and scored 21 goals. He's fallen out with the manager at Brett's in France. So I can't complain. And like I said, once we get him and Ilias Chair together, we could possibly cause some real damage. But he's injured at the moment, which is frustrating.
Yeah, he'll not be back for the game on
No.
Saturday, will it? Is he out for a few weeks more?
Well, he's got a bruised back, right? A bruised back, apparently. And I mean, I think a bruised back's quite bad. I don't know, but he's been out all season. But he's obviously had the off-field issues that he's had.
Yeah,
that's been cleared of now. So he's got to do a certain amount of community service. So fans are they said that he was going to have an internal disciplinary as well. So no one knows what that looked like or what that was. So I could just be, I don't know, guessing. But apparently he's got a bruised back and he'll be back after the international break. But he'll need to get up to speed. But I don't think he's back in training yet either. So.
Right. So he's a fair few weeks off then. So no chance of us Wednesday fans, because I know he was a key player for you last season.
Yeah.
We'll go back to last season again. Obviously, we uncharacteristically did the double over yourselves last season. So it was a 2-1 win at Loftus Road. I went my first trip to Loftus Road. Obviously, loved it because the result. But I tell you what, Ben. The first time I've experienced safe standing.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
in the away end, I
Yeah.
think it was the last 2 or 3 rows in the away end in the upper section is safe standing, and there were a couple of stewards there as well. And I tell you what, really enjoyed it. I weren't expecting it. My mate had got the tickets and everything like that, and really enjoyed it. I've got to say, and obviously the football helps, doesn't it?
I was at both games last season. The one away that was. The one where we lost late on 2-1 and gutted, that was one of Cifuente's. Yes. He always talks about that game, especially towards the end of last season, as one that he learned the most from in English football and stuff. He always references it, and obviously I had the game at Loftus Road, which he obviously didn't learn from because we were terrible that day. Well, we were really worried at the end of that game, 2-1 at home, because. We were pulled away, and then that defeat and all the results went against us, and we got pulled right back in again.
It was that funny time of the season where the results went for everyone in the bottom 6 all managed to get results, or there was or all the teams in the bottom 6 didn't get results, and then you got teams like Plymouth pulling off a 1-0 against Leeds, weren't it? Early kickoff, and then we managed to lose as well, and Swansea won, and it was a mad time. But I've got to say, I loved it. QPR, it was really good. If you came last season, what did you make? Are you here on Saturday as well, Ben?
No, I'm not there this time. No, not there. Got some family commitments, but it's a shame actually, because a lot of friends go and stuff like that. I do love coming up there, and the stadium amazes me how big it is every time I go. It's only because I go to Loftus Road, but still, it's it's one of my favourite away days.
Oh, great! I was going to say, what was your thoughts of it last season? You made the trip. There's been a lot, and my next question was, but I'll save that. But what do you make to Hillsborough? Because we've had some negative press over the last few months.
Yes, I've got no issue. I like it. I love it. Yeah, it's you. If you're right at the back and you do feel really far away, but other than that, it's fine, mate. I mean, it's just it's a bit old school. It's a bit run down the away. I don't know if you've been in the away end. It is a little bit run down, but most are. I mean, that's where you stick your away, your away fans in that sort of area. So once the fans get going, it's always a difficult place to go, and that's what happened in that game. To when you scored your goal, blimey, you could just feel it that the second goal was coming. Like we all said it in the stand, it was really annoying.
We've like I said, we've got a lot of negative press about fans that have been and obviously the concourses or the back of the Leppings Lane or that. But QPR in the away. If you've been in the QPR away, now that for me was bad as well. And
it's awful, isn't it? Yeah.
It's and it's referenced quite a lot by Sheffield Wednesday fans where people moan about Hillsborough. It's gone, well, have you been to QPR? Have you been to Luton? Have you been to all these old stadiums and the concourse, or they're not a concourse, but it's a funnel where the bar is. Well, it's a little walkway, but it's very snug, shall we say? You got to be pally with your fellow supporters. You say that. Quick question for you. I know you're not going on Saturday, but there's been a lot of clubs that are coming to Hillsborough commenting on the ticket prices. Yeah. So I know West Brom are coming in a few weeks. I think we've charged them £39 for an adult. So I just thinking, obviously you're not coming, but is any QPR fans, have they made any sort of comment about pricing? Because I think as Wednesday fans, away games, I don't think we've been hit that bad, unless it's Sheffield United and Leeds, and I think we've been pretty.
Yeah, we charge quite high prices, mate. So I'm not sure we can moan too much. Ours is back end of £30 as well. Most are, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's one of them. It's not. You want to be charging the 20 is plenty. I don't know why that doesn't come back in, but I've not seen anything or heard anything other than a few little comments, but it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you you're talking like £3 or £4 more than what the average is, but actually that's probably quite a lot to someone, isn't it? Who's travelling up and stuff or down. So the clubs need to get together, don't they, and agree some sort of approach. It's getting silly now. I saw Leeds or Burnley were charged like £50. It's just a joke. That's ridiculous. That.
Yeah, I think Leeds last season for us, I'm sure one of them, but I think it was either 47 or 49 quid an adult, and that is like ridiculous.
And that's a rubbish away end as well. It's terrible away end,
But it's not the best. It's not the best, but they are. So how many fans do you know? Are you bringing a couple of thousand? Will it be?
It'd be about 1,500, probably a bit more. Something like that. Yeah. So the summer holidays are all over, aren't they? So you tend to find the crowds start properly coming back. And these half 12 games that just do my head in, mate. I hate them.
It's
about you?
I don't know. I think everyone, all football fans, knew this sort of thing was coming in last season because we had the thing about you got to stay up. They were getting extra few million, but there's going to be a downside to that. You're going to be playing Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday. I think we played 3:00 Derby at 3:00 on a Sunday. And Sunday and Saturday evening, afternoon. There's some weird kickoff times, but hey, I think we're taking the money the club are taking the money and they're spending it and stuff. So the fans are always going to get moaned about. And we can always, that is a podcast and a half for everybody that can talk about kickoff times and ticket prices and everything like that. Ben, I'll get a quick prediction off you shortly, but Sheffield Wednesday. So as a QPR fan, as a podcaster yourself, what are Sheffield Wednesday looking like to you? I know we had a great win, 4-0 against Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. I mean, anyone can beat them, can't they? So
we can't. We drew 1-1. We're going to have 9 men.
It was a result and half.
On our podcast, we did a predictions, and I actually had Sheffield Wednesday in the top 6 as a surprise, entrance. And you won first game, so I was gloating. and then you haven't won since. So I've got a bit quiet on that. But yeah, mate. I mean, look, big fan. He's keeping hold of him was key. I look at some of his signings. I mean, they look decent. It's difficult to see. Some of these you just don't know, do you? But you got Jamal Lowe there as well. We had him a couple of years ago. He's on and off. On his day, he can be absolutely brilliant, but there's a lot of days that he didn't even bother turning up. So I don't know how he's done. I think he's started all right, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah, he has. He's looked bright, really good. He got a goal as well, which earlier the better, isn't it, for a forward?
Yeah.
He's looked bright, and he's been away with the Jamaican national team as well. He got called up as a reserve, so he's been away. So him and Deshaun Bernard have both played for Jamaica, and I think they play tonight. I think so, early hours maybe. So they'll be a bit tired.
You got Akbo in. I mean, I would have loved him. So that's really good. Jan Valerie, Max Lowe, good fullbacks. Your keepers quality. Beadle he's brilliant. And you got that Shea Charles as well. That was a sly one. That was
yeah,
he's good, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think where you were talking, Ben, about Cifuentes has gone down the data route, not having a championship player. You've just named probably 90% of them players have got championship experience or higher, or Premier League experience. Like Jan Valerie played for Southampton, Shea Charles last season played 30 odd games in the championship. So we've gone the other way.
Nathan Chalobah as well, haven't you? Nathan Chalobah, he's a bit of
he is, but he played 45 minutes in the Carabao Cup against Grimsby, and then he's off injured now. So that's not looking like too good at the minute for us. But yeah. See, you look at our transfers, and if you know your championship, players and Premier League and things, you're looking at that and say, yeah, actually we have. But at the minute, like I say, we've struggled in the last 3 games.
Yeah,
mate.
I think it's just going to take time to get going. A lot of people, a lot of players in, a lot of and I always find the games in the championship so fine margins, aren't they? One turn of events tends to change the game, doesn't it? We've obviously lost against Leeds and Sunderland and Millwall. Well, Leeds and Sunderland, me personally expect them to be up there. It was Millwall for Sheffield Wednesday fans, and we said it on our podcast. Millwall was the one that we thought we should have put a better performance in and better account of ourselves. But as in team that we're looking around us, like last season, and yourselves as well. So we're expecting you coming to Hillsborough and us to put up a lot better performance, fight, being at home against you guys. So it's I mean, we've got to get off this losing streak, and hopefully it'll be Saturday against you. I'm going to ask you for a bit of a prediction, just a little bit of how you see the game going. Just imagine it's kick-off, and you're just going to give a quick summary and then give us a little bit of a prediction that you think, Ben, please. Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we won't change our approach whoever we play, and really, and whether it's home or away, we tend to play the same way. We're unbeaten away from home for a few months now. I know it's a lot of the season off season, but we haven't lost for away for around 8 or 9 games. So we're not too bad away from home. I think the system that we play suits us. And we tend to play it's like a mid press. It's like the in thing, isn't it? Where you don't press fully, but as soon as the ball comes into the middle part, you move in, and we tend to play like that. And then get the ball up to Frey. We've got a big Swiss guy up front called Mika Frey. He's bold. He's about 6'4", 5". He's massive, and he was really unfit last year. We brought him in January, and he was really unfit. But he's had a really good pre-season, lost 2 stone, and he can't stop. He scored 3 goals already this season. He scored a few in pre-season as well, so he'll play up front. He scored the winner on Friday night against Luton, which was on telly, good goal. And we'll hit it up to him when we need to, and it'll just be a bit of a tactical game, I imagine, won't it? Where just So, what do I think? I think I'll just probably sit on the fence and say 1-1, mate. I'll take a 1-1.
You see, I think it's not obvious. Don't get me wrong. I think the word's catastrophizing. I think it is. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but obviously, I think we do need to win. I think three losses on the bounce, regardless of the opposition, you've just got to look at the thing. I think we need to get back on that winning horse. And at home, I think there'll be 28,000. I expect there. Yeah. Which is a great turnout, especially how much we charge our fans for tickets. I've got to go. I've got to be positive. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think Ben. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be. I think it will be tight. I do. We've unfortunately conceded straight after half time really quickly in the last couple of games. So I'm hoping that change and we do keep it tight. I think we'll. I think all 3 goals will come in the second half as well. I think you're going to be in for a good second half. Whoever's watching it, from my point of view. But Ben, just if anyone's listening or watching, if Benny just gives a big up your own podcast there, if you just let everyone know if you've got any social media tags or anything you want to just drop in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, W12 podcast. Most, just type that in wherever you listen to your podcasts or any socials or anything. We should just pop up. QPR based podcast. We get current players, ex-players. We've had the manager on, Sith Fuentes on at the end of last season.
Oh, nice.
We've had Harry Redknapp on, Neil Warnock, Les Ferdinand. So yeah, we've got a current player on next week. So any QPR fans, give us a listen.
Oh, fantastic! Doing good stuff there, mate. Yeah, getting managers, ex-managers, players. Yeah, well done. Yeah, nice one. Everyone, thank you very much for listening and watching. If you like what you've seen or hear, give us a click, a like, subscribe, all the usual stuff that helps the algorithms. This has been our previous show, Hello from the Other Side. Thank you very much. See you later.
Every week, live from 8 p.m.
Right,
It's the Wednesday week. Bringing you football analysis.
He came in. I think he scored a goal.
Bringing you banter.
Yeah.
Bringing you responsible life hacks.
Met you wonderful souls at 10 a.m. for some shots.
The Wednesday week. 1, 2, 3, 4 live. Available on all social medias.
Obviously, this goes out on YouTube and as well as all the other social media out there, podcasts, etc.
The Wednesday week 24-25 season. Join us.
Put on your podcast.